Okay, so the final video I'd like to make about the nervous system is about the brain, which, as we've said, is sort of like the control center for the whole nervous system. So we're just going to look at a few parts of the brain and what they control. So here's some labels. So if you think of a brain, if you've ever seen one in a picture on TV, this big sort of bit on the outside that looks all sort of like jelly and like things all wrapped over one another. This is what we call the cerebral cortex. Underneath the cerebral cortex, just in here, we've got the cerebellum. Underneath the cerebral cortex, in this sort of middle part here, we've got what we call the midbrain, the thalamus, and the hypothalamus. They all do slightly different things, but they're all sort of in this general area. And then coming down here, at the very top of the spinal cord, is what we call the medulla. Now, I'm actually going to leave this as an exercise for you to look up what all of these do on your worksheet. But I will just go through a couple of them because I want to just think about the location on the brain and then what these things control. So first of all, your cerebral cortex, that big part, that controls memory and also your sensory and motor function. So that's what your sensors or your receptors and your motor and muscles do. Your hypothalamus, which is sort of underneath the cerebral cortex, that controls some of your, I guess, basic instincts like sleeping, eating, drinking, speech, body temperature. Things that aren't automatic, but are, fairly important for life. And then a bit further down, you might remember we've got the cerebellum. Now this controls your basic sort of balance and coordination and fine movement. So by fine movement, we mean the movements that are required to, touch things, pick things up, use the pen on my computer, all of those sorts of things. And then right down the bottom there at the top of your spinal cord, we've got the medulla. Now that controls some of your really basic bodily functions like breathing, respiration, which is, like sweating, swallowing, sneezing, coughing, vomiting. These are really basic functions that keep you alive. And they're functions that everyone's born with. You're able to do these things as soon as you're born. Whereas maybe some of these other parts don't come along until later. So what I want you to think about at the end of this video is, what do you notice about the location within the brain of these 4 different parts and their functions? What's the link between where they are and what they do? Okay, thanks for watching.